Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Musa, Matt Meacham Jr., broadcasting, broadcasting on Earth. In this solar system, you have the planets Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto. I'm in that universe. I've been motivated. I know when I first started broadcasting, I would broadcast. I was on the East Coast in U.S. I would broadcast in Boston, Massachusetts, and I would catch a train to Providence, Rhode Island, and I would broadcast every day, almost every day. And the thing is, I would only broadcast when I felt motivated, and usually when I'm motivated, you know, I, I, uh, I say a lot of things. Um, I got a lot to say right now. I've been motivated. I was uh, laying down. And the thing is, I was just thinking about the world, and I could not stop thinking about things. And I started thinking about an individual. That individual is Mr. His name is Mr. Trump. He's a former president of the United States of America. But now he's under he's I think he's in serious trouble. Um, I don't think there's any way in the world that he won't be going to jail. I think he will be put. This man has committed so many crimes. I mean, the crimes that he committed are so many that I don't think they have enough room in a composition book to say he committed this or he committed that. But this, he committed a lot of crimes. And the thing is, I'm sure that Mr. Trump is destined for prison. But I kept thinking about Mr. Trump because what happened was when I voted for Mr. Trump when he was elected president, I voted for him. And what I think maybe the reason I voted for him, he has he knows how to he has a good eye for women because he got a beautiful wife. So I'm saying to Mr. Trump, now when they lock you up, and you're gonna have a good time. You know, Mike Tyson, the boxer, he's an African American boxer, and they locked him up in prison. But when he came out of prison, he was a better man. He's a very wise man. I think I think even now Mike Tyson is an actor. But Mike Tyson and I think Mr. Trump were very good friends. And what happened was when they locked Mike Tyson up, and then Mike Tyson got out of prison, he was a brand new man. So I think that, well, I don't know. I don't know how long Mr. Trump is going to live, but I know that he's going to jail and he'll be there for a while. So if Mr. Trump is listening, um, I tell you what, I think that you have a very beautiful wife. And the thing is, she's a beautiful woman. You have good taste. I have to say that. Now, what I'm saying to you is that now, when they lock you up, I mean, I'm sure that you have special. special privileges where you can, your wife can come and see and you and stuff like that. But well, I'm saying you're 77 years old. I don't know if you're still good, but I'm good. So what you could do is you could send your wife to me. Yes, I'll take your wife. I promise you, Mr. Trump, that I mean, she doesn't need any money. We know she doesn't need any money. She needs honey. In other words, I think that if you said to her, come to me, I think I could make her very happy. Now, the thing is, what I'm saying, Mr. Trump, is this. Okay, now we know, you and I know, and everyone else knows that you are going to jail. Now, since you're going to jail, of course, like I said, you will have privileges. But you can send your wife to me, and I promise I will take care of her. Um, you mean, she doesn't need any money. She just needs loving. And I would kiss her. Listen, man, I would take your wife and take care. Like she don't need money. She just needs some loving. Send it to me. I thought I should say something like that. I was contemplating about the world, and I started thinking. I said, "My goodness, the world is really in a messed up situation." I said, "My goodness." I said, "Well, since the world is so messed up, and well, I don't know how much time I got on this earth." I said, "Well, maybe I could help somebody." And I thought about the Trumps. I think I could, help you. You know, I could take care of that beautiful wife that you. My goodness, you're going to be locked up. You're going to be locked up for a long time. And like I said, of course, you will probably have privileges where you can see your wife, but she won't be able to go out with you. She can only come in with you. So maybe she may want an outside type of person. I'm available. So much for the fun and games. Let's talk about. I must talk about my favorite subject. I must talk about my favorite subject. My favorite subject is God. You know, everybody got some concept. Even if you go into the jungle, like in the Amazon, or you go to these places where you don't have civilization, where you have just wild savages, people that are not civilized as people call civilized, but they live in the jungle. I bet if you begin to explore and talk to these people who are in these remote places outside of civilization, I think that every single civilization, everywhere there's man, there is a concept of God. The concept is maybe your concept, the Hindu concept may be different from the Christian concept, but there's always the concept of God. I want to talk about God. I would like to talk about God. Now, I think when we talk about God, we are talking we're talking about the universe. Not only are we talking about the universe, we're talking about the universes. We're talking about concepts. Now, these concepts, all of these concepts that we have that exist in our minds are God. I mean, you have people who say that Jesus Christ was God. You have people who say that Muhammad was God. You have people that say Buddha or whatever. They say this is God. But okay, okay. You can say whatever you want to say. But then the problem is you may say this or you may say that, and then what happens is you may say to me that Jesus is God, and then you're going to say to me, since I say Jesus is God, therefore you must say Jesus is God. Now, that's where we have our problem. The problem is you have your concept, and I have my concept. And when you begin to try to force your concept on me, that's when we draw the line. And that's where the conflict comes. But to me, God is everything is everything. To me, all of existence, all that exists in this world, every idea, no matter how big or how small it is God. Okay, let's look up into. Okay, I remember when I was very young, I wanted to study astronomy. I didn't really get very serious into it, but I always kept it as a side thought of mine. But now I think about those stars in the sky. And they say that the scientists say that when we look up there in the sky and see all those stars, they say there are an infinite an infinite amount of stars in the sky. What does infinite mean? I mean, infinite means no ending. So if it were possible that I could go out there into space and try to go to every star that exists, I would never get to the end. But it establishes another concept in my mind when I say something about infinity, or when I say the infinite, or then you get into religion, the everlasting, the non-ending of something. We never die. What happens is we go from one form until another form. Okay, let's look at the embryo that exists in the womb of the mother. Okay, before that embryo can become a human being, the fetus must die. Okay, the fetus dies as as it becomes a human being. Okay, let's look at the butterfly. If you look at the butterfly, the butterfly, the thing that flies with the beautiful wings. That butterfly starts off as being like a worm. It becomes like a worm, and then this worm dies for the butterfly to become, or the tadpole. I mean, a tadpole, I think, is something. It comes from. It starts with a tadpole, and it moves to a frog. We human beings, when we pass, okay, when we are no longer alive, we actually move to another form of existence. And I think that's only a minute aspect of the total existence of existence. It never ends. So when you read in the scripture, you have wars and people die and people kill each other. And then you talk of God, and then you look at cruelty. Okay, this question. Why would God, now we're thinking along the human line, why would God allow certain things to happen to human beings? Why would God allow the rapist to rape the child or the murderer to do mass killing? Why would God allow these things to happen? Watch this. Okay, if we look at the animals in the wild, okay, and we see like a predator, or like a lion, a tiger, a hyena, or something. Okay, what happens is, let's look at the hyena. If the hyena will get runs and it captures a deer or whatever prey that it's after, and it's two or three hyenas, right? Okay, so they jump on this deer or whatever it is prey. Let's say a wild pig or something. Okay, the three hyenas jump on the wild pig, right? And while the wild pig is alive, the hyenas are biting. In other words, they got this wild pig. They got him down, and he's kicking, and shouting. And you got one hyena in the back, boom, biting off flesh, chewing him, eating him up. And then the other one is chewing, and he's still alive. Now, wait, hey, consider this. How would you how would you like to be that wild pig? But that wild pig is going through this while this hyena is biting the flesh, and the hyena is still alive. It's kicking. Don't kill me, don't kill me. And the hyena, boom, bites a big piece of meat out of him, chews it up, and they just eat the wild pig. They just eat the wild pig or the zebra or whatever the hyena jumps on. He eats them while the animal is still alive. Ooh, what a terrible way to go. Why does God do this or God do that? Okay, animals. I think you have some religions, some places in the world where people don't eat animals. Because, okay, didn't God create that cow? Didn't God create that chicken? You get the chicken, chop his head off, and we eat it. Life. So life is more than as we perceive it. We perceive, we go to war, men go to war, and they have their guns. And okay, you have this army and you have this army. You got 100,000 soldiers over here and 100,000 soldiers over here. Now these guys, they got families. These guys, they got families. But we know when they meet each other, maybe 50,000 of these will be killed, and 50,000 on this side will be killed, and they did. So when we look at the existence of existence, then if we study it and contemplate on it, we find that it has to be something so magnificent in the total of existence that make all these things happen. Okay, I'm sure that if we go far out in space, and we may not have to go that far, we may only have to go to the planet of Jupiter, which is in our solar system, which is a very large planet. Okay. And I think Saturn and Uranus, these are extremely large planets. But suppose we were able, in this form, to go to Jupiter. We may discover human beings that are 100 times bigger than ourselves. So here we are in Jupiter. be human beings, and we're looking at this great big giant. So it has something to do with existence. The, everything is based on existence. And the thing is, I guess what we have to do, okay, how do we deal with this thing? This thing of where there's no end. Okay, okay, I'm trying to. I write books about infinitive. I've written what 26, 20, 30 books on the idea of infinitive. This whole thing of none of existing, the concept of never ending a never ending thing. So how do we deal with all this? This is Musa Matt Meacham Jr. signing off on Earth